Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and here we have the Walgreens Exclusive Xmen Emma Frost. Now, I got my figure from Daming Toys out of Taiwan. They are an online-based figure seller. They have Overwatch figures, Star Wars Black Series, Transformers, the Studio Series, Siege, and Marvel Legends. So lots of cool things. Link to their website down in the description below. I chose that route because with Walgreens Exclusives, you know, you never know when they're going to show up or what's going on, and I really wanted to get her. So now I have her before that she's actually hit the States, and now I believe she's hit Canada, but she's not yet down here in the States, and should be soon. I would say by the end of August at the earliest, we might start to see her kind of pop up here and there randomly. So there it is. Be on the lookout soon, but not quite yet. Here on the side package, awesome look at Emma Frost. Here on the back of the package, we get that same look, but kind of a larger scale. Let's take a look at that bio. Emma Frost, a mistress of mind control. Emma Frost uses psionic abilities to read and manipulate the thoughts of her enemies. Of course, she is a telepath. Yeah, man, this pack is looking pretty sweet. There is the UPC for you guys. Not sure how it will really help with Walgreens, but just in case, there it is. Let's get her opened up. Okay, and here is the Emma Frost figure out of the package. And first impressions, this is a very good figure. A couple things that I don't like, such as the heels. Why the high heels? Makes it difficult for her to stand. But for whatever reason, I'm actually able to get her to stand fairly well. She has fallen over once, and I'm sure she's going to do it again. But very good figure. But pretty soon we're going to take a look at the accessories, because she does come with an interchangeable head and she comes with interchangeable hands, which we don't normally see with the female figure, so that is pretty cool. She has just kind of the two open hands out of the package, and she also includes a pair of fists. And then we'll take a closer look at the figure, and we'll do some comparisons to some earlier Hasbro Emma Frost figures that are just not good. So it's a whole 360 turnaround on quality figure. So stay tuned for that. Here we go right now. Okay guys, so in terms of additional accessories, again, she comes with two fisted hands and then that additional interchangeable head. Nothing else as far as accessories. Alright, so here's a close-up look at the Emma Frost figure, and again, the head sculpts that she comes with look very good, and the paint apps are applied very cleanly. So blue lips, some makeup, and the eyes all looks very clean. It came out looking very good. For the rest of the figure, not a whole lot of paint in places, but we do get a red X, and that's actually a sculpted in X, and they added in the red paint on both sides. And we get the silver buckle, and then the holes on the belt. That looks pretty good. And then we get this line work in here to kind of show and represent her boots. Now the line work, at first I was like, oh, the line work is cleanly applied because it's paint, it's not sculpt or anything. And then I looked at a couple of things. So actually on this side, you know, the lines line up pretty well, no problems on this side. But then I look at this side and it's just kind of off. So you can see, and I missed it there, that one's pretty good, and then pretty good for the red. Well, so it's not terrible, just kind of misses the mark a little bit in places, so it's not so bad, but straight on they look very good, so I have no issues or complaints there. Then she gets these little floating pieces that kind of show and represent boots, and then she has the high heels, and I hate these things because it's so hard to get the figure to stand. So earlier when I first showed it off, I got it to stand. Look at that, I just set it down and she stands up. But I had stepped away for a second. When I came back, she had fallen over. So she still does fall over, but it's not terrible, surprisingly. Here on the wrist, I just noticed this. So these, so those are floating pieces there as part of the glove cuff. So that's a floating piece actually on the arm. I just wanted to make sure there. One thing that's concerning, you know, when we have skin tone and then a dark color for the costume, you know, how is the paint going to come out looking? And they actually did the skin tone fairly well because it's the black plastic, and they did the skin tone. They even had a little spot where her belly button would be, so that's kind of interesting that they actually went that extra step to actually do that. But one thing, it's always concerning, you know, or do they have enough paints of coat to really show that, and you know, in hopes that the black won't bleed through. And I actually did pretty good there. I have no issues. Here on the upper torso, I have no problems with it either. And then here's a look at the coat, and then this coat is removable piece. The shoulder pads and everything's all part of one piece. So we're gonna pop this head off so we could take a look at how that jacket comes off. So you could see here, the shoulder piece is just again, but then this strap just kind of comes around for the arm. So you could remove the jacket if you wanted to. You just kind of have to work it in certain angles, you know, depending on how you do it. So you could do something like that with the arms. Get those straps, the sleeves to come out. And, you know, you want to be careful you don't stretch it out too much and cause damage to it. But you can see that the jacket does come off, and again, those shoulder pads are part of it there. And then so here you can have Emma Frost with the floating belt without that jacket, and they actually applied the skin tone pretty evenly on the back of the figure as well. So while we're at it, let's pop on the interchangeable head sculpt that she comes with. And that doesn't really pop on, that just kind of sits on there. And this one looks very good as well. Now this one I would say is more of the white queen look. So when she's in her white outfit, this is kind of the look she has. So it's nice that we get that interchangeable head, but it would be great if we actually had the costume to match the hairstyle. But again, it still does look very good. Now one of the things on both of these head sculpts is the hair is just done in a yellow color. There's no... Actually, you know what, I'm looking at it and it doesn't look like there's a wash, but now that I'm kind of looking at it, definitely can't see it through video, but I do see some kind of darker color kind of throughout, so they may have put in a little tiny bit of a wash in there to give it some kind of textured look, but for the most part it's just done in a yellow color. Usually we see like some tans or light browns or something kind of mixed in with the hair. I'm not really seeing that here, but on this one I kind of get that same vibe. So I don't know if that's just my eyes playing tricks on me or what it is, but the hair just looks okay without, you know, any of the other shades of blonde or brown or tan, you know, light brown that's actually mixed in. But there are the two head sculpts together. I do like this one with the longer hair, but this one does look very good. Okay, so let's get this jacket back on and take a look at her articulation. Okay, so let's take a look at Emma Frost's articulation. So here I have the short-haired head sculpt on there so we can get more motion in the neck. So she can look down, she can look up a little bit. With the other head sculpt, she definitely wouldn't be able to look up because that hair would just get in the way. Of course, there is a swivel, and then there is some pivot in there. And again, this head doesn't fit on as nicely as the other one. See, it kind of gets a little stiff in some parts. Now the jacket with the shoulder pieces all being one piece, and the way it's separated on there, that does not hinder the articulation for that shoulder, so the arms can't go up that high. You can still get a full rotation, just being careful with that. There is no bicep swivel or anything because we have the standard single jointed elbow for the female figure, so the swivel is actually at the elbow, and then we get just about 90 degrees, maybe slightly more, not a whole lot going on there. And then the wrist swivel and the hinge. So I had put on the fisted hands, and I think the hands actually look very small for the arm. You can see the hand just looks tiny, even that the wrist peg or the glove cuff, you know, even goes around the hand and it looks way too small. But then you could put these open hands back on there, and those hands definitely kind of scale better with the body, in my opinion. So female figure, standard diaphragm joint. So here, you know, we have her straight up. She can pivot to the side a little bit there, pivot to the other side as well. Crunching forward, she's going to crunch that much, so not a whole lot. Back, she goes a little bit more, and the jacket really doesn't get in the way, so that is good. You know, the diaphragm, you can get a swivel in there because there is no waist swivel. Again, the belt is just a floating piece. The legs can go out that far apart. She can kick forward quite well, that high. Back ever so slightly, almost none. There is an upper thigh cut there. We get a solid double jointed knee, which works out quite well. There's no boot swivel or anything, but with these high heels, she can move her ankle down that much and up quite a bit. And then this boot piece is kind of a floating piece there. It looks like just kind of some straps and everything in the design. So there is her articulation. Now let's take a look and see how she compares to some of the previous Hasbro Emma Frost figures. Okay, so Hasbro released at least 3 Emma Frost figures that I'm aware of. There's this one, which was in the Annihilus wave, which was, I believe, either their first or second actual full wave of Hasbro releasing Marvel Legends. And this thing is hideous and one of the worst Marvel Legends figures there are. Probably the second to worst Marvel Legends female figure. There's a Rogue that's terrible, but that actually is Toy Biz. So maybe this is the worst Hasbro female figure. That's probably it. Yeah, it's probably safe to assume that she's at the absolute worst Hasbro female figure that they have ever released. The thing is just horrible. I mean, look at the size-wise. She's pushed back a little bit, but I mean, size-wise is just weird. But there's funky proportions with the sculpt and everything. It just does not look good. And then throw on top of that, there was this same figure. There was a Toys R Us exclusive Diamond Emma Frost edition. Boom, which is here, which my buddy Quinn in Canada had sent me so I could do a comparison. So I'm going to actually open this up right now and we'll take a close look at the 3 of these figures together. Okay, so here is the Diamond Emma Frost figure out of the package. Now, the figure sucks. Let's clear that up and just kind of get that out of the way. But the interesting thing about this, because she's in the diamond form, they went with a clear translucent plastic for her skin tone, and that actually looks pretty good. It's not actually a gummy material either, kind of like, you know, the Juggernaut Iceman figure was. So the concept of this I do really like, but it's just still, the figure itself is pretty ugly. Now, there was one in the Puck Build-A-Figure wave that was previews exclusive, or whatever the issue was with that wave. It was very limited. There is an Emma Frost in there that is a pricey figure. She doesn't even come with a cape, so I know a lot of people use this cape on that Emma Frost. But again, that Emma Frost is, I want to say, $100+, and it has like the body to Puck, so that's why Puck's so expensive. So it's just kind of tough. So, you know, it's nice that we get this new one, even though, you know, of course we wanted the white costume version of Emma Frost, but, you know, we could always go right back to these ones and say, hey, look, we have a white Emma Frost, white costume Emma Frost. Now, one thing that I'm curious about, I wonder if these heads come off. I don't want to force it too much. Okay, so I can't really pop that head off, and I'm not going to force it too much. Ooh, look at that, the cape actually comes off. So I can't pop this head onto these Emma Frost body, which is something that I was going to try to do, because look at the difference in those head sculpts. I mean, size-wise, but just in the quality of how it's sculpted and how it looks, it's just a huge night and day difference. Just, oh my gosh. All right. So one thing I'm sure will be coming, we're going to see lots of customs for the Emma Frost, and I think this head's going to work out. You know, we have the upcoming White Bunny figure, which I think she used a lot of the same parts as Typhoid Mary. So even if you have like an extra Typhoid Mary based on her costume, you know, you can actually use that as a good base for an Emma Frost custom, which I'm sure we'll do, but this head sculpt will go perfect with it. And then you can even use these capes that just unplug and go together and wrap around. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that. There she is. Okay, so that is the review. So as a last bonus, here we have the Cyclops and Emma Frost figures together. I believe these are both based on the Marvel Now designs, and I think there were a couple at the time. You guys correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the figure. Are you going to be picking it up, holding out for Walgreens to get? Are you going to check out Daming Toys' online website, so you can, down in the video description below, and see if you can put it in order? I have to double check if it's in stock or not, but the link is in the video description below. Let me know what you guys think of the video. Did you guys like it? Hit that thumbs up button if you did. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.